I know people don't believe in judging a book by its cover, but I'm sorry. We put ourselves in positions to be judged this way, and I don't blame people for looking at these pictures of those two idiots right here and just thinking, well, damn, people that look like him, behave like him, talk like him, walk like them might just behave this way. And it's hard to say that, especially when we continue to keep producing this cycle of senseless violence. It's the mentality. It's the environment that we raise, and we're actually fostering this environment as opposed to discouraging it. Before we even get deep into the story, and before I get in too much trouble, some of you guys might find my content controversial or offensive. This story is coming directly from dailymail.com, so thank you for the article. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children and young teenagers and young men going forward. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. And today, Texas, I said Texas unintentionally. Georgia is going to have to take the L in this story. Where do we even start? Let me just tell the story. Two teenage boys have been arrested for the shooting, for shooting dead a Georgia high school football star in a mall parking lot while he was on a date with his girlfriend. How do we even get here? He was on a date. Let me show you that young man. On the left-hand side of the screen, football star Elijah DeWitt was 18 years old and was shot dead in the parking lot of Dave & Buster's outside of the Sugarloaf Mills Mall in Lawrenceville, Georgia on October the 5th, following an altercation with two others. Police arrested Kamari Bryan, 18 years old. Let me get their faces back up on the screen so you can see who I'm talking about. Pillars of Society. Right here. Kamari Bryant, 18 years old, on the right-hand side, legally an adult. And Chandler Richardson, 19 years old, on the left-hand side, legally an adult. In South Carolina, 2 days later, both are from Lawrenceville. Detectives are still working to investigate the motive behind the incident. It appears that the suspects and the victim were familiar with each other, and when they encountered each other in the parking lot, an altercation took place, and then the shooting, Gwinnett Police Department said in a statement. DeWitt was on a date with his girlfriend, Bailey Reitling, at the time of his death. In a 911 emergency call, Reitling can be heard screaming in the background. I was at Dave & Buster's. I heard people screaming. I look towards my right, and I see someone lay down, a person said in a 911 call obtained by Fox News. I've never seen anything like this, man. Bryan and Richardson were charged with malice and felony murder. The two were also charged with possession of a firearm and aggravated assault. The duo will be extradited from Anderson County to Gwinnett County on October the 10th. Let's talk about this before we talk about the candlelit vigil. On the surface, this football star looks like a tall kid, handsome young man, good, strong-looking young man, all the promise in the world looking young man, probably gonna go off to college young man, beautiful girlfriend young man, got his whole future to look forward to young man. People hate when you judge a book by its cover. What do you see when you see these two pictures? Just the pictures alone. Does this show promise? Does this show I have a future? Does this show we're going somewhere? We're pillars in society? And I want y'all to see their demeanor in court, which further lets me know that these two individuals are just not good people. based on their behavior, based on their actions, and based on the fact that why would a 19 and an 18-year-old be carrying loaded weapons? For what? What were they doing with their lives that they needed to have not only loaded weapons, but I want y'all to think about how petty and how stupid this is. They're close to high school age at 18 and 19 years old. Don't know if they graduated. Don't know that they were in school. Maybe they went to a rival school. Who knows? How they are familiar with Mr. DeWitt. What's his name here again? Let me get this. Want to get his name right. Elijah. How are they familiar with him? Did they play sports at some point? Whatever altercation they got into, verbal, disrespectful, our pride and our feelings as young men in general is very, very irresponsibly handled. When do we become so sensitive when they say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me? Whatever happened to that? Is that just the old way of thinking? Am I just an old man for thinking that way? You can say whatever you want to me. It's just going to hurt my feelings. I can get past that. There's a lot of things in life, and this is why these young men need fucking fathers, which I can almost guarantee you they don't have. Prove it to me. Well, how do you know you weren't there, Just Jay? Kiss my ass. It's too many black men that don't have fathers statistically. Blame it on the stats. Blame it on your actions. But stop getting mad about me speaking on what's real. They're emotional because they don't have men to show them how to be men, show them how to be leaders, give them the direction that they should follow and that they should go. They can grow up and become something great, something positive, something productive. They didn't have that. Remember how I've talked about over the past 4 years, how I said if you want good men, you have to raise what? What was my quote? If you want good men, you have to raise good boys. If you want good women, you have to raise good girls. I haven't used that in a long time. Maybe it's time to get back to doing that. We are so selfish. Why we produce children? Why would the mother and father of these two fucking fools have them? Why did they have them? You think they had them because they cared about them, they loved them, they wanted to leave a legacy and create something great? Nope. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That ain't why they had these kids. Most people in general, especially in the community that shares my skin color, that ain't why we having kids. We having kids just because, oh, I's pregnant, y'all. It's my body, my choice, y'all, and I can have this baby, y'all. Oh, you mean to tell me that I can collect some benefits off of this? I can make this man's life that I had this kid by miserable for the next 18 years, y'all? Huh? I can drag him down the tubes for child support, y'all? Huh? You mean to tell me I can go get me a big old house? That they building all these new houses for people on Section 8 now? I go give me one of them for having a child, y'all? You gonna give me how much of food stamps per month? Car vouchers too? Really? Okay. You mean to tell me I can go enroll in college, y'all, and get a discount? And get Pell Grants and special loans for having kids, y'all? Huh? That's also why a lot of women that are from my community end up perpetually going to college when they say that they're the most educated. They're actually the most enrolled. Shout out to Tommy. Hope you're listening, brother. They're the most enrolled. Why? Because the longer you stay in school, you always have to re-up on that money, and you can continue to just keep taking loan after loan after loan, or keep getting funding after funding after funding and get that check. And they make it easier to do that when you have a kid. You want to know how I know? Because when I first tried to apply, I applied to community college first before I ended up going to a private college in Kansas. So when I applied at community college, first thing they said was, are you over the age of 24 years old? I was like, no. They're like, do you have any children? I was like, no. Well, guess what? I ended up paying more than a person who had kids and over the age of 24 years old. And I thought about that and I said, well, damn, that doesn't make any sense. I don't have any kids. Shouldn't I actually get more of a benefit for being responsible for not having kids too young before I can take care of them? Right? But that ain't how society works. It seems like society continues to reward asshole behavior. Get mad if you won't. Tell me when I done said something that's factually inaccurate. Why am I talking about all of that? Because it leads to this. You don't put enough love in these boys' life. You don't put enough responsibility in these boys' life, enough accountability, enough ability to rationally think about things, to have that mental balance, the yin and the yang, the push and the pull. The logical and the emotional side needs to be balanced. If you only have a mother, you're going to be chemically imbalanced and you're going to be emotional as fuck. Huh? You need to have the balance of both. Even having too much testosterone is not a good thing. Too much logic, not enough emotion or compassion can be a bad thing. We have hundreds of examples of these young men not valuing themselves and go out into the world and express that thing on top of everybody else. So if they don't care about themselves, how do you think they're going to treat you? How do you think they're going to treat your kids? How long have I been telling y'all about this? Y'all been watching my channel for what, 4 years now? 4 years prior to this, somebody had an opportunity to step up and maybe change these boys' lives to not grow up into this. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Would have been 15 and 14 years old. I've mentored boys at their age. They had time to be different. They had time to change. Nobody wanted to be a mentor. Nobody wanted to put a proper father in their life. Nobody cared enough and just let them do what they do. We out here getting money. We out here being rappers. We out here hustling. We out here doing what we got to do. We making sure that people don't go out here and disrespect us. We don't want to be disrespected. Huh? Somebody got to die if we get disrespected. Oh, he called me what? Oh, yeah, he got to die for that. Look, come on, man. Some of y'all are about my age. How many people in the chat are 40 years old? Maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. Guess what we did back in the day? We used these. We didn't go to school with guns and knives and weapons and shit like that. If we had a problem, if we couldn't work it out in a war of words, we take it to the park and use these. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. Ain't that right, John Witherspoon? His words are damn near haunting right now because this shit gets scary. And yes, I walk around with my weapon all the goddamn time. It's frightening to me to know that people like this out there in the world exist. That's why I love Texas. Everybody needs to be strapped at this point. The more law-abiding people that carry weapons and carry your tools, which all they are just tools. They're just tools. That gun is going to sit there and not do anything. It's an inanimate object until I pick it up and do something with it. It's not going to go out and go and do, I don't know why we call it gun violence. We don't call it thugs with guns. If you are a non-law abiding citizen, which has nothing to do with race, then you are a thug when you choose to violate the law and carry guns and commit offenses against people. That's what makes you a thug, not because of your skin color. Hello. Don't let these politicians tell y'all to be scared to protect yourselves. These fools and people like them have no conscience, no remorse. And they don't care. What did they end this boy's life for? For what? So you mean to tell me that two 18-year-old and 19-year-old young men couldn't have just fought it out, fist fight, with one football star who was their same age? They couldn't have just fought it out, fisticuffs? You mean to tell me two of them were so freaking weak that they couldn't have jumped him? Gave him a busted lip, a black eye, and moved on. No, y'all, he had to die. For what? This is absolutely beyond stupid. And I know that my people, you know what's funny? And thank you, JoJo. Got to give you a shout out, my brother, and I love you, man. Never told you that, but you're hearing it now. Because I appreciate him. That respect reciprocates, and I truly appreciate him. I give this type of love and message and energy out into the world because I want that energy to be returned in a positive form. You know what happens too many times? Too many times I'll try to speak what's real in these situations and give people perspective, proper perspective. I get death threats. That's what I get. I had somebody ask me the other day, like, do people actually threaten your life over this stuff? Yeah, they have. And I keep it documented too. I have to document it. Because if I have to do something to somebody, I got to be able to protect myself legally. I get death threats for showing what's wrong, for talking about what needs to change, from giving real mentorship that will actually make everybody's life better. Isn't that something? You can live in the hood, you can live in the suburbs, and the information that I put out on my videos could actually make your life better. But you don't want me to speak? And you want somebody to put me down for no reason. The same way that these young men sitting in court, and I'm going to show y'all that video, put this young man down. Could have just had a simple fight, punched each other a little bit, and moved on. That ain't what happened. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Now, there actually is a GoFundMe campaign. You can actually check it out on dailymail.com. I know I skipped a lot of that article. I just wanted to speak from the heart. But this story really, really made me think about so much stuff. So you guys can look that up on Daily Mail. Also, if you want to support the stream, an easy way to do that is click that thumbs up. We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching, okay? Go. Let's get it.
Happening right now, friends and loved ones are gathering to honor the life of 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt. The star Jefferson High School football player was found shot and killed last week, and we're told a long line of people has already formed to pay their final respects. The visitation is taking place just as the two suspects in the case have been returned to Georgia.
And our crew has been following this transfer of Chandler Richardson and Kamari Bryant from South Carolina to Gwinnett County. Latasha Gibbons joins us live from the Gwinnett County Jail with the very latest. Latasha.
Well, good evening, Ron and Jennifer. We've been at the jail for hours waiting on those suspects to arrive back from South Carolina. This happening the same day Elijah DeWitt's family is holding a visitation. Let's take a look at some video of those two teens being walked into the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Jail. Investigators say Chandler Richardson and Kamir Bryan made their way across state lines and were arrested in South Carolina last week, just days after 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt was gunned down in a Gwinnett County Mall parking lot. Investigators haven't released what happened leading up to DeWitt's shooting death, but they say the evidence points to these two teens. Investigators also say the boys knew each other. Richardson and Bryan are now awaiting their first appearance, which is likely being held tomorrow. We'll be sure to let you know what happens in court. Live in Gwinnett County, I'm Latasha Givens, 11 Alive News.
All right, Latasha, thanks for the
He's a great athlete. He's a tremendous football player. He was a lot of fun to coach. He was a true warrior every Friday night. He loved the games, and he always played big. You know, he's going to be missed tremendously as a part of our team.
Tell me about the first time you met Elijah.
Well, you know, he came in. He had been at Prince Avenue and wanted to come back. He grew up here and played here, and he went there for 1 year. And he asked me, Coach, I'd like to come back. And I said, I don't think you need to come back. You probably need to stay where you are. And so we had an interesting conversation about, you know, his motives for being here. But he's been great since the first day he got back into our program. And, you know, he did a lot of dynamic things out here on the field for us this fall. And it's just such a tragedy for him and for his family and for his teammates.
All right, let's see. Let's keep going.
Now, folks, there is now a second suspect in custody connected to the shooting death of a star high school football player. Now, Gwinnett County Police releasing this picture right here. 18-year-old Kamari Bryan today. He is now charged with felony murder, malice murder, and aggravated assault. 19-year-old Chandler Zion Richardson is also in custody. Both arrested in Anderson County, South Carolina, about 100 miles from Lawrenceville. By the way, 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt was found dead Wednesday night after being shot outside of Dave & Buster's at the Sugarloaf Mills Mall in Lawrenceville. Tonight, 11 Alive's Joe Ripley has the very latest developments on this case, including the 911 calls from that night.
We need someone here at Dave & Buster's and Sugarloaf Mills. Someone just got shot.
11 Alive obtained the 911 calls made the night 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt lost his life. Gwinnett police say he was shot and killed Wednesday in the Dave & Buster's parking lot at Sugarloaf Mills Mall in Lawrenceville.
I don't think he's breathing anymore.
In one of the calls, the operator guides a man who identifies himself as the manager of Dave & Buster's to render aid to the 18-year-old while emergency crews were on the way. Another caller says she saw someone armed run away after the shooting.
And he crossed my path, and I just hear the shooting. As soon as I parked, I got off, I hear the shooting, and I saw him run across the parking lot.
Gwinnett police say 18-year-old Kamari Bryan and 19-year-old Chandler Richardson, both from Lawrenceville, were arrested after hours of questioning in Anderson County, South Carolina, more than 100 miles away from the crime scene. Anderson County officials say they were tipped off by Georgia State Patrol, and deputies managed to track down the suspects at a Quick Trip gas station. Both are facing charges of felony and malice murder, along with aggravated assault and weapons charges. They faced a judge in Anderson County on fugitive from justice warrants. Police say Bryan and Richardson were familiar with DeWitt, and on Wednesday, police say a fight escalated into gunfire. They're still working to figure out the motive behind the shooting. DeWitt played football at Jefferson High School. Tributes have been pouring in from across the state since his passing. While both Bryan and Richardson were both arrested in Anderson County, South Carolina, Gwinnett County police tell us they will both be brought back here to Gwinnett County on Monday, October 10th. In Gwinnett County, Joe Ripley, 11 Alive News.
Well, the star receiver's mother is now coping with the loss of her son, and she spoke only to 11 Alive about her heartbreak. And she says that he was loved by so many people in the community, and that's why it's hard for her to understand why anyone would want to kill him.
Only Only on 11 Alive, Elijah DeWitt's mother says her son was a gentle giant taken too soon. The teenager gunned down Wednesday night outside the Dave & Buster's in Lawrenceville. Tonight, sources confirm a suspect, also a teenager, was arrested in Anderson County, South Carolina, about 123 miles away from Atlanta. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is live for us this evening in Jefferson outside the high school where Elijah DeWitt was a star receiver.
Now, Cody, you spoke exclusively with the mom just a short time ago, right?
That's right, Ron. A strong woman, but her heart is broken tonight. Dawn DeWitt told me while Elijah was a giant on the football field here at Jefferson High School behind me, he was a down-to-earth guy. He wanted to go to college, earn a degree, and play football, but those dreams were cut short by one senseless act. At 6'2", 190 pounds, 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt was hard to miss on the football field.
I call Elijah a gentle giant.
A star wide receiver at Jefferson High School. He wanted to play college football.
He really just encompassed that dream, and nothing seemed to ever stand in his way.
It seemed like nothing could stand in Elijah's way. His mom, Dawn DeWitt, said he already had a couple offers and was set to visit UGA this weekend.
He loved football, and he was ready and willing to do whatever it takes to go D1. That was his ultimate goal.
A goal Elijah will never get the chance to accomplish. On Wednesday night, the teenager's life was cut short. His mom says he was shot just feet from the door at this Dave & Buster's at Sugarloaf Mills Mall in Lawrenceville.
He was very tender, and he loved people. Elijah was the kindest soul.
Which is why Dawn says it's so hard to wrap her head around why anyone would want to kill him.
He was so full of life and love, and he was courageous.
A woman so proud to call Elijah her son, even if it was for just 18 short years.
It really was just a privilege to be a part of the journey, and I really wished I could have it back.
I assure you, his dad is just as proud of his son as his mom is.
You understand that? You have no expectation of privacy in this place, okay? Look, there's not much I can do for you today. All I can do is tell you what is. What is what's on this paper. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's on the paper, okay? You're going to get a copy of everything I tell you. Look, it's got your picture, what you're charged with, your bond amount, if any, okay? That's what I'm doing today. The main thing I'm doing, if you don't have an attorney and you qualify under the federal poverty guidelines, I'll be glad to appoint you an attorney, okay? You probably won't have it right now, but if I appoint you an attorney, you'll have their name and number this morning, and I'll get it to you so you can give them a call, okay? So when I call your name, stand up, we'll have a chat, and we'll go from there. Fair enough? Mr. Bryan, sir, you have 4 felonies. Here, stand up. Do you know what they are? Kind of, sort of? There are no bonds, Superior Court only. Only a Superior Court judge sitting in your case can grant a bond. Do you know what that means for you? You're going to be here for a while, okay? The others have been denied. It says you're a flight risk or a danger to the community, so there are no bonds. Do you know if, does your family or someone know you here, sir? Do you know if they have you an attorney or not?
Yes, sir.
They do have an attorney for you?
Yeah.
Do you know who
I
the...
spoke to him yesterday.
You did? Yes, do you know who that attorney is, sir?
And then like Lamar Gardner, something like that, something with a G.
Okay, but you do have an attorney?
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday.
All right. And I'm sure he's told you don't talk about your case with anyone, right? So just remember that. Are there any other questions you'd like? Do you have his number? Do you know how to get in touch with him?
Nah, but you can call my mom or my dad.
All right.
Did that.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully they'll dress you out soon and put you in a housing unit and you'll be a little more comfortable, okay? Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Wish you the best. Mr. Richardson? Sir, you have 4 felonies. Do you know what those charges are?
Yeah.
Yeah, Superior Court only. Only a Superior Court judge sitting in your case can grant a bond The others have been denied. It says you're a danger to the community. Do you have family or other people who know you're here, sir?
Yeah.
And do you know if they have you an attorney or not?
Yeah, we working on it.
Okay. Does that mean you do not have an attorney? I don't know. You either do or you don't. This Mr. Bryan said he did, and he knew who he was because he talked to him, right? If you haven't talked to an attorney, or if your family hasn't retained one, I'll be glad to appoint you one if you wish.
Good. I got one.
Pardon me?
Got one.
You're positive?
Yes.
Okay. You just don't know who they are.
I haven't spoken to him yet, but I got one.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, hopefully they'll dress you out soon and put you in the housing unit, okay? Any other questions, sir?
No.
All right. I wish you the best. Thank you. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Is it?
Go ahead. Keep your vote down.
I think that lack of emotion speaks louder than the few words that they didn't verbally communicate. And boy, that's chilling, that's cold. Like I said, that's just people like that just don't value life, don't value themselves, and don't have anything to look forward to. And then they end up ruining somebody else's life and their family and their legacy. I definitely hope that the family gets justice against whoever is responsible for this. In this case, it looks like it's going to end up being both of those two young men here in some capacity. It's just really sad. Like I said, I think I've said the majority of what I wanted to say earlier. And again, if you want good men, you have to raise good boys. And it don't seem like these boys are raised very well at all, if they were even raised. They didn't value themselves, and then they didn't even value anybody else. They got to some type of verbal altercation, turned physical. Were they losing the fight, and then they decided like, oh, now we need to shoot this dude now? If y'all are that damn weak that two of y'all together can't fight one person your own age, then maybe y'all shouldn't be out doing whatever bullcrap that you're out there doing. I don't know, man. The fact that they couldn't just handle that in a simple exchange of words, walk away, or even a fist fight, walk away, and it turned to this is just very, very sad. Our condolences and thoughts go out to the parents, to the family and friends of this young man. His name is Elijah DeWitt. He was 18 years old. Could have been anything. Could have been anything. But instead, what we get is we get two young men that are probably going to end up doing life in prison, and one young man that had a lot of promise in his life that won't get a chance to do and won't get a chance to live up to that. It's just really sad. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I know I've said a lot, but let me know what you think, okay? Thank you.